Oh, hello. Welcome. Today, I'm going to be taking what is a newfangled version of the Myers-Briggs test, a personality test, to determine what my career should be. It's like I'm back in high school, so that's super exciting. Apparently, this new version breaks down your personality in a variety of ways. Apparently, there are 4 categories. There are analysts, diplomats, sentinels, and explorers, like those colonialist bastards that took over the Western Hemisphere. If I had to guess, I would either be in the analyst category or in the sentinel category. But before we get to that, let's talk about our sponsor, Raycon, because this particular video is brought to you by the greatest pair of earbuds that God or man has ever created. And if you go down into the link right now and you click on it, you get 15% off this fantabulous pair of earbuds that you will absolutely treasure every day of your waking existence. Shall we begin?
Let's do it.
We shall.
All right, so you got your mouse over there on your right hand?
I do.
And so just scroll down.
Okay.
And?
I enjoy vibrant social events with a lot of people. No, you often spend time exploring unrealistic, yet intriguing ideas. Mildly agree. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. Kind of agree. You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it has taken place. Disagree. That is for people who make mistakes. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not to try to solve their problem. Strongly disagree. Sads are only solved by solutions. People can rarely upset you. Mildly agree. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and keep it going. Disagree. Why would I rely on other people to start a conversation that might tell me about their lives? That sounds awful. If you have temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. Strongly agree. We're just gonna go full extremes here. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on someone you met. Generally agree. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend by yourself without feeling bored. Disagree. If I have books. If you're more of a detail-oriented than a big picture person, strongly disagree. You're very affectionate with people you care about. Shockingly strongly agree. I have children, guys. I don't like you, but I like my kids. You have a careful and methodical approach to life. Yes, I'll agree. You are still bothered by mistakes you made a long time ago. Agree. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found further away from the action. Well, see, this is weird. So in the past, the answer would have been agree. Like by preference, yes. By actuality, no. See, this is sort of the problem, right? Like I would prefer to be further away from the action, but I've been dragged at so many parties into the center of the action. I've been specifically invited to weddings where I don't know anybody, just so that they can put me in their wedding videos. I assume that it means like whether I want to be in the center of the action, so I'll like mildly agree. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. Agree. When looking for a movie to watch, you spend ages browsing the catalog. Yeah, agree, but that's because I've seen everything that's good. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. Agree. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. Strongly agree. You're dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. Definitely agree. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge. No, disagree. When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Agree, but isn't that like everybody? Like who really just like really enjoys going to parties and randomly introducing themselves to yeah, Emily. Emily, of course, Emily, the friendliest person in the room. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. Disagree. That's actually when it gets good. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. What is crying? Why do you cry? I understand now why you cry.
I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do.
Terminator 2 quote, guys. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones. Disagree. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. Agree. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. Disagree. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something you cannot see, touch, or experience. Major disagree. You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Sometimes forgiveness is actually the best revenge. Seriously, like if somebody does something very bad to you and then you forgive them, they have no leverage over you. See, people like to feel better about themselves for having done something bad because now they think that you think something bad about them. So if you forgive them, you take away their leverage. In just a moment, you'll learn what type of personality I am, aside from a sociopath. But first, let's talk about the greatest pair of earbuds on the market. I'm talking, of course, about these. The Raycons. You know about Raycons because you've heard me talk about them before. Go check them out right now by clicking on the link below and you get 15% off. Raycons are incredible for a variety of reasons. One, they sound just as good as any other earbuds on the market, and they will cost you like 50% of what other earbuds would. Second, they sound really good. Third, they come in a variety of colors, so you can really customize it to your needs. And fourth, they actually fit your ear. They're not one size fits all. There's no wires, there's no stems. They look really good, and they fit your ear properly. They come with a variety of fits. There's like a little metal card that they come with these rubber pieces at the end, so you can customize how it fits your ear so that they don't fall out. Raycon, they sound fantastic. They basically cancel most noise. They're everyday E25 earbuds. Those are the ones that you're looking for. Click the link in the description and you get 15% off. Go check them out right now. Raycons, they're excellent. You often make decisions on a whim. Disagree. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. Strongly agree. You often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning of a message of a song or a movie. Agree. You always know exactly what you want. Yeah, agree. You rarely think back on the choices you have made and wonder what you could have done differently. Mostly agree, but that's because I spend a lot of time thinking about my choices before I make them, as all thinking people should. You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities. Yeah, agree. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Agree. I kind of do understand other people's feelings, I just think they're stupid. So I'll actually disagree with that. Like, I fully understand my wife's feelings and I fully understand my kids' feelings, and so I'm very empathetic with people that I care about. But if your feelings are unjustified, I can understand them, but that does not mean that I agree with them or think that they should be the basis for decision making. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions upfront as possible. Strongly agree. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. Disagree. They'll never be disappointed in me. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. So used to be disagree, now pretty strongly agree. As you get older, you're like, you know what, F it, man. Like, okay, fine, let's just talk to somebody interesting. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. Agree, as my producers can tell you when they're desperately trying to tell me which ad to read next. You look after yourself first and others come in second. Disagree, I have a family. Even when you have planned a particularly daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment. Disagree. Your mood can change very quickly. Disagree. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Agree. You often talk about your own feelings or emotions. I would go with disagree, but my feelings are pretty much out there on the surface, so I feel like I never have to discuss them so much. Like, I feel like my producers know that, like, if I'm pissed off, I'll just say I'm pissed off or something, so, I don't know, mildly disagree there? You've got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. Agree. You rarely dwell on your regrets. Agree, but that's because I've had an amazingly baller life. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway. Yeah, agree. Agree. That's what Shabbos is for. You see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary. I'll actually agree with that. I'll agree with that. You find it easy to empathize with the person who has gone through something you never have. I know everyone wants me to say disagree here, but the truth is that I actually think that the mark of thinking is being able to empathize with an experience you've never had. I mean, that's what human rationality is about. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to organized and consistent efforts. I disagree. I'm pretty organized in how I work. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Disagree. After a long and exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. Strongly disagree. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life. Disagree. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. Agree. You still honor the commitments you made even if you have a change of heart. Super agree. You rarely feel insecure. Agree. See results. Okay, let's see, guys.
The architect, INTJ. Wow.
You knew it.
Okay, everybody in the room is like, called it.
We're gonna read you your results back to you.
Okay.
And get your reaction. All right. Other architects at school are often called bookworms. Those with this personality type likely identify with that label.
Fair. I mean, it's better than not knowing shit. Like, what's that?
They are serious and prefer to design and carry out effective plans rather than waste their time with foolish distractions like gossip.
Wow, that's actually quite accurate.
Yeah.
All right.
They typically apply a sense of perfectionism and even morality to all their work. Anyone who can't keep up with architects' processes or doesn't see the point of them is likely to lose their respect.
Wow.
Is that some truth that we see?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Care about your feelings.
This is right. Facts don't care about your personality type.
Architects you may know: Friedrich Nietzsche,
Okay.
Elon Musk, Christopher Nolan,
Yeah. All right.
Vladimir Putin,
Oh, ride the bear.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's come full circle.
I actually quoted Arnold Schwarzenegger in that video. So,
Which
A
one?
friend to all is a friend to none.
correct. Absolutely 100% true.
That's you.
That is 100% true. Anybody with a lot of friends has no friends and will be alone at their funeral.
The architect personality type are looking for an intellectual soulmate more than anything else. People who aren't equipped for such a relationship as seen as boring. Architects need to share their expansive ideas, making chronic small talk is something they typically avoid.
All of that is true.
Children must be taught how to think, not what to think.
Absolutely true. Listen, you have to instill values in your kids, but you really do have to explain why you're doing it. I'm not an authoritarian. There's sort of several different parenting styles, and there's a difference between authoritative and authoritarian. Authoritarian is you just lay down the law, and authoritative is you lay down the law, but you explain why you're doing what you're doing. And yeah, I'm the latter.
The role of genius is not to complicate the simple, but to simplify the complicated.
I literally think that's what I do for a job. My job is to try and boil down complex ideas into ways that people can understand them. That's literally what the podcast is. So yeah, agree.
Architects want to tackle intellectually interesting work with little outside interference. Time-consuming management techniques like trust-building gatherings, progress meetings, and long sessions that look backward rather than forward only annoy architects. All they need, be they subordinates, colleagues, or managers, is to meet their goals with the highest standard of technical excellence. And it may help them if they're surrounded by people who share those values, if anyone surrounds them.
Correct.
That's great.
That is exactly right. As my producers know from trying to get me to do meetings and or anything else, my work style is wham bam, thank you ma'am.
If they see coworkers valuing social activities and accepting good enough workmanship over excellence, there's likely to be trouble.
ZipRecruiter.com. Okay,
There's a lot of
that's actually pretty damn accurate. Good stuff, guys. All right, that was more fun than usual. Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the country. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our content.